Welcome to BW Businessworld. Today we are at BW Education Leadership Summit and Top Education Magazine. Right now I have with me Mr. Sahil Kapoor, who is Chief Business Officer of Matific. Thank you for joining us today. My first question to you obviously will be, can you tell us a little bit about Matific and your own personal journey with it?
Absolutely. When we talk about Matific India, so Matific is an adaptive solution, mathematics adaptive solution, which is out of the league solution. There are many digital solutions in the country. We talk about Edtech solutions, we talk about digital solutions, we talk about smart solutions. But there are seldomly you will find out adaptive artificial intelligence based solutions in the country. So we are a standout solution, and we are coming up with a 360-degree approach for the kids. So solution is out of the box with comprehensive reports, and it is for kindergartens. There's a saying: "Tell me, I'll forget; show me, I'll remember; involve me, I'll understand." We involve kids into activities, so it's entirely different. About my journey, it's now almost a year from 1 lakh or 2 lakh kids. Today we have over 1 million kids on our MML platform, over 500 monetized schools in the country. It's been great, and our thought has been to create a world class solution of sorts, not a digital product which is adapted by people and is just thinking commercials. In our case, creating a solution which is different solution, and it's creating some impact and doing something for the society. So in our case, if you look at it, there are three set of learners in every classroom. There are slow learners, there are average learners, and there are sharp learners. So even the slow learners, with the adaptiveness of solution, they come at par to sharp or average learners. Because system creates a dialogue. So entirely different thought process. We have put in almost a decade creating it. Our academic team. We have people on board from Berkeley's, Harvard University, and Einstein University. And a lot of academicians from India who have been helping us out. So I met many of them inside, so who coordinate with us and we take their inputs.
Absolutely. Can you tell me a little bit about what kind of growth you've seen over the past? You mentioned it a little bit briefly, but what plans do you have to scale up the business?
Looking at, like, we are working on a B2B model largely, but idea is to collaborate with bigger organizations and people who are creating impact and take it to B2C and make it a D2C kind of a solution. There is a phobia around mathematics in the country. So when you ask a kid, if you ask me, I was an outstanding student. I used to stand outside the class every time around. And in maths marks, I can't even tell you how many marks I was aggregating. So what happens here when gamified learning is there and solution is entirely different, and you're teaching a kid and telling him, okay, now we'll play a game, or it's a digital game. So he starts enjoying it, gets involved into it. So sky is the limit. 15 lakh schools in the country, 4.5 lakh private schools, more than 10 lakh government schools. If I look at the kids number, I can't even give you the exact number because it's increasing day by day. So it's huge potential. And million is just a number which we achieved. That's a small number, what I would say. It's a big path is tough because a lot of competition is there. But when we talk about solution and the merits of a solution, nobody in the league is having a solution of this kind. So throwing a number of 10 million in next 2 years is, I think that's quite achievable, the kind of work we are putting in. But I don't want to quantify it with the number here because sky is the limit. So with such a small team in the country, we have been able to aggregate around 1 million kids in last 18 months of our hard work and efforts by our team. So that's been immense challenge.
Can you tell me about some of the challenges, well, not necessarily challenges, but some of the biggest concerns when you're running an edtech, especially when you're working with children?
When about children, and that this will be divided into two terms, I believe. One is going to be the schools. So when you go to schools, they have certain budgets, and they are like consumed with a lot of work. Why? Because they get only 170-80 days in a year to teach. Rest are either holidays, or there will be some vacations or something happening regionally. So you'll end up with 160, 170 days in a year. So for them, adapting to any solution and then merging it with curriculum becomes very tough. So that was a challenge, which we covered because our solution is synchronized and mapped to the curriculum. So that's not a problem with schools now. So that is why schools have started adopting to us and they are liking our solution. When it comes to kids, so the biggest challenge today is the screen time. So parents say, my kid is already on tablet for 4-5 hours, why would I give them content on this, or why would I use Matific? So in our case, we can time it out. So there will be tasks which will be assigned by teachers, and teachers will be assigning the task, and there will be a certain time given to kids and they'll solve it. So what happens after that, there is no task. So he has to automatically switch off the tab. So there were challenges and there will be challenges in future, but we have that capacity and capability to achieve the impossible. So
that's also a difference between working with a school as opposed to working directly
Yes.
with children and parents.
Yes.
Edtech, not just Edtech, the startup sector has faced a lot of shake-up over the last year. But as a company that's doing relatively well, can you tell me what is there a secret sauce, or is there something? What have you done well that you think has allowed Matific to be able to?
About Edtech, I'll tell you, it's been almost 12-13 years for me, touching 15 years now in an Edtech arena. One, there's no substitute to hard work. Two, if you have to succeed, you have to create a world-class solution. That is what we did. Then the third thing is going to be your team, the people you bring in. Are they passionate about the solution, or they are just doing the job? In our team, most of the people think, yeah, this is their company, because we have been training them the way. We want them to come in and contribute and take ownership. So a frontliner in our team is equivalent to me. He can come and I'm easily approachable. He is approachable. Entire team is approachable. So it's a combined team effort. One is going to be the solution we create. Second is going to be the team which we created. We have a world-class team today. Our small team is doing better than the teams. I have seen 500,000 people working in Omni. There is no substitute to hard work. If you are slogging it out, your people are hustling, numbers and everything. And these all things are byproduct. So if your solution is good, it is well accepted, things are good.
I need to ask, because even though you do handle the business operations, being in the education sector, how has your own perspective on education changed over time?
Look, when we go back in our times, 90s, so there used to be rote learning, and many of the kids were kinesthetic learning. So I personally feel teaching is done by 3 ways. One is read and write method, second is kinesthetic, and third is visual audio. So there was no visual audio, though kinesthetic was there, learning by doing, but teachers were skeptical taking kids out and doing activities, considering there was less passion. I won't say they were not passionate, but they were today I find teachers in schools, they are passionate. So the change we need to make here, and the change which Edtech companies have made over the last period, they have brought kids out of the classroom, giving them kinesthetic activities, and then giving them visual audios and even gamified learning and talking about adaptive solutions. So that has been stand up.
Absolutely, and a lot of transformation is happening in the education sector. A lot of new experiential learning, game-based learning, all these things are being taken up more and more over, even by the national level and also international level. Do you have any comment on the kind of changes that are happening in the education sector right now? What would you like to see happen more?
Policies will come and go. A lot of policies. Everything will be drilling down to the execution unit. So NEP is there, earlier CC was there. So, but the schools who implemented CC, the schools who are implementing NEP, they are standout schools. They are doing very well. And these changes will keep on happening because I think biggest room in the world is room for improvement. So if we look at the current policies or the yesteryear policies, you will be finding out chunks there and you will be saying, yeah, I need this is not there, this is stopping me to evolve. So that change is going to be there. But the kind of educationists we have today, larger chunk, what I see, they're passionate about education. And if we go back 8-10 years back, then there were people, but this passion which I'm seeing today, that wasn't there. That was not evident. If you see Niyati ma'am, you meet Rekrit, or if you are talking to Rohan, so they'll give you some inputs, and that is like gold dust. And how adaptive you are as a company, as an organization, are you adaptive enough? You want to make that change. That counts.
My final question to you is just, do you have any advice for people who want to, also be part of the edtech sector or education sector?
I think it will be too early for us. We are just a small company, not that big a number. But there's no substitute to hard work, like I have been saying. Create a world-class product. And passion is required, and huge potential in our country.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for answering all my questions and for being here today with us. And congratulations
Thank you.
on the award.
Thank
and
you.
we hope to hear definitely more from you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Play a